The fascists are here. They are flexing their muscle. And you guys, it is far worse than the mainstream media is letting on. This is coercion. This is coordination with the oligarchy and this fascist regime that is headed up by an incompetent idiot, a total moron. Lock in, buckle up, buttercups. We cannot lose our country and our right to free speech, to free expression. And we cannot lose our comedians because a demented 80-year-old man who lies about his height, lies about his weight, has to wear a shit ton of makeup, the biggest fraud on the planet. We're going to lose our country to that. This is fascism. This is not cancel culture. What happened to Jimmy Kimmel will continue and continue and continue. They are moving the goalposts and they will not stop. They don't give a shit about the Constitution. They don't give a shit about inflation. They don't give a shit about any of the people that voted for them. David from right here tells us exactly what this is. Play the clip.
Only one thing that matters. There's only one thing that matters. We had a threat of retaliation by a government official for someone not pronouncing government-commanded speech. There was an order from the state about what people must say. Jimmy Kimmel did not say that, and his corporation was threatened with consequences by a government official. This is not cancel culture because it's not culture. It's state repression. It's an order from the government. Here's the script you must read. If you do not read it, you will be taken off the air. Jimmy Kimmel didn't read it. He was taken off the air. This cannot be, because he's a comedian, there'll be people who say maybe we shouldn't take this as seriously, but here's the comparison I would suggest. When Paul Pelosi was brutally attacked, many, unfortunately, including the son of the former President Trump, made light of it. A terrible thing, heartbreaking, a terrible attack on an 82-year-old man. Imagine if the Biden administration had given a script and said, this is what everybody must say about Paul Pelosi. And if you don't say it, we will bring pressure to bear on your parent corporation to fire you. Greg Gutfeld at Fox, you're not sad enough about Paul Pelosi. You're not saying what we command to be said about Paul Pelosi. Therefore, unless Fox fires you, we are going to bring regulatory havoc to bear on the parent corporation.
And I want to remind you here that this is when the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, threw out rumors that Paul Pelosi and his attackers somehow had a gay relationship going on. That's what they always do. They always have to link some marginalized group into this. Sound familiar? Sound familiar as to what they're doing right now? This is state-sponsored coercion of cowardice, MAGA supporting right-wing billionaires that suck off the American taxpayer all the time. They don't pay taxes. There's all these tax loopholes, and they go and kiss the ass to Donald Trump. There was not an outpouring of people that were upset about what Jimmy Kimmel did. The average American, if you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, you don't watch the show. I think Greg Gutfeld and Jesse Waters are pricks. Guess what? I don't watch their shows. Everybody has agency over what they watch. This is complete fascism. Call it what it is.
I'm very upset about this, not just because, if Jimmy Kimmel, he didn't really even say anything that was that controversial. He was basically repeating the facts. You've got Stephen Colbert. You have Jeff Bezos with the Washington Post. We are seeing slowly but surely democracy is dying, if it is not already dead, because of Donald Trump and these billionaires.
Okay, next up we have Brian Stelter with the real reason Kimmel was taken off air. Of course, it's money and oligarchs uniting to fleece us even more.
Already owns lots of TV stations. It wants to merge with Tegna, which owns lots of other stations. In order to do that, it needs Brendan Carr, the SEC chair's permission, and it actually needs the SEC to change the regulations entirely about how many stations an individual company can own. So Nexstar has all of this pending business before the government. Tegna also does, and there's another big station owner called Sinclair that also has business pending before the government. So what do we know tonight? We know that both Nexstar and Sinclair called up ABC this afternoon, complained about Kimmel, and said they were yanking the show off their stations. ABC subsequently yanked the show nationwide. So we know that two major TV station owners, both of which need to curry favor with the Trump administration, were the ones that most loudly and vocally condemned Kimmel and said they were going to not air the show tonight and in the coming nights. This It's an Occam's razor situation. It's exactly what it looks like.
Okay, so Sinclair Media. This is super important because they have been propagandizing for the Trump regime. They've been shilling for him since 2016. Sinclair Media is the group where you get your local news. So your local channel, and we're local, and they make you feel like they're a part of the community. Seth, first let's play the clip of Sinclair Media channels all over the United States with their North Korea style propaganda. Play the clip.
Sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets are true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
So think about this. All of these local communities are owned by this huge multi-billion-dollar company. The owners of this company are big MAGA supporters, and they want to control the news. They don't believe in the First Amendment, so they make all of their local stations read a script, and that's why you could see all the screens coordinated. But it doesn't stop there. These people are punitive and petty and diabolical on top of that. Seth, put up the next one. All right. Sinclair's ABC stations are going, instead of airing Jimmy Kimmel, they are airing a special remembrance of Charlie Kirk during Jimmy Kimmel Live on Friday night. They have also demanded that Jimmy Kimmel pay a heartfelt apology to the Kirk family and make a donation to Turning Point USA. That's what they're demanding. That's how empowered and emboldened these fascists are. It is jaw-dropping that they are mainstreaming a racist, that these right-wingers are showing us we believe in every single racist, sexist, and homophobic word that Charlie Kirk said, and you have to suck it. That's what they're saying to us. We believe it. We like everything he said. We support everything he said, and we are mainstreaming everything he said because they can't hold two truths at the same time. On the left, I can say Charlie Kirk's violent death upset me. I don't want to see anybody in this country, because far too many people have, including kindergartners and others, shot with a gun in public in the United States of America. While at the same time, I'm not going to go down the road of revisionist history that Charlie Kirk is some great activist. He was a racist, an unapologetic one at that. But Sinclair is saying, listen up, suck it, America. We like him. We're going to remember his racism. We're going to remember all the shit. And Jimmy Kimmel, they're saying, you have to bend the knee to this racist. This is fascism. This is beyond cancel culture. Sinclair Media, shame on you. But thank you for showing me exactly who you are and exactly what you think of marginalized people in this country. And thank you so much for making it so clear and evident that you are the oppressor and you are pissed off that during Obama or Biden, you couldn't brazenly oppress, and now you have a green light to do it. Thank you. Well noted. I'm glad to know where you stand on these issues.
What makes me so sick about all of this, I mean, there are a lot of things, but 77 million Americans believe the same shit that Charlie Kirk did. They believe that nobody should have a right to free speech but them, that nobody should have due process but them. And that is terrifying because Trump, with the billionaires, they have to have the consent of the people. He got the presidency, the Senate, and the House. And I am scared there are more of them than us. I hope I'm wrong.
No, I want to push back off of that. I think that that's too black and white view of the electorate. 77 million people. I think there's a percentage of those people that were pushing back against the status quo. And the Democratic messaging was status quo. It was centrist politics. And I think a lot of those 77 million people don't follow the daily news cycle like we do. And they genuinely wanted cheaper prices and a pushback to all of these centrist policies that led us here. And Trump appeared authentic, strong man. And there's this illusion that he is, there's this illusion that he is a billionaire, therefore he can't be bought and paid for. And it's actually quite the opposite. Now, within that 77 million, that's where all the racists are. That's where all the white supremacists are. That's where the people who want to nanny, boo-boo and tattletale and get wound up about Cracker Barrel and all of this stuff. The problem with that is the Democratic option has often been to swing to center to try to appease the patriarchy. And there's a lot of talk in Democratic strategists right now that we need to go to the center. Well, that's what Hillary Clinton did. That's what Kamala Harris did. There's a huge argument to be made that centrist politics for the non-locked in voter appear like status quo. And Trump appeared for people who don't watch the news cycle as a change agent. And then they also get sucked in because they were lied to. Donald Trump said, I'm going to sign a executive order and free speech is going to be the mandate. He said, I'm going to reduce the price of eggs. He made all of these, big promises, but they were lies. They weren't promises. And then he also had powerful allies during the administration that own media conglomerates like Twitter, like X. And one of them is Elon Musk, who high on drugs with sunglasses on, got out a chainsaw, and then he sat down. I mean, he's clearly not sober in this video and said shit like this.
And have like a sense of humor, So, the left wanted to make comedy illegal, Like you can't make fun of anything. So there's like comedy sucks. It's like nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like legalize comedy. Yeah. Legalize
So this
comedy.
is the danger of these right-wing politicians and these right-wing agitators. They will say things that get clipped, that put out there, that people who don't micromanage the news cycle like all of us in this silo right here do, they get sucked into it. And then they go back to their life and they're not super political. And so all of these promises are made to them. But next up, I want to go over just the facts. Straight up facts about the Jimmy Kimmel situation. Put this up. Let's make sure, this is from Adam Cochran. Let's make sure everyone understands the facts with Kimmel, as the right is trying to paint this as at-will termination. Nexstar, the parent company of Kimmel's show, is seeking FCC approval for a merger. Kimmel made comments about Trump on Monday night, months after Trump openly said he wanted to get Kimmel fired next. Reporting is that Trump had the FCC lean on Nexstar over these comments. Apparently, they expressly used the line, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." Multiple executives at the network have on background said they had no issue with Kimmel's statements, but the Trump threat loomed, referring to the merger. This was not a network dissatisfied with Kimmel. This was not a network embarrassed or horrified by what Kimmel said. This was not a network that thought he was unfunny or underperforming. This was not a company freely choosing to fire an employee. This was expressly the federal government weaponizing federal departments in retribution for someone being critical of the president. This is literally what the First Amendment exists for. It does not protect you from private actions by private entities. It protects you from the actions by the government to censor your speech, whether brazen and direct or through coercion and threat. This is not about if Kimmel was offensive or not. This is about speech. And I want to say this. I believe with everything in me that the people that support Trump, I think it's around 30%. We have the numbers. 70% of Americans do not want to see comedians fired. They don't want this Christian white nationalist bullshit. They don't want to have to micromanage the news. I think the cult does. The cult wants this. Laura Loomer saying she slept on it. She wants a dictator. A lot of Trump people, our friends, the good liars, go into her. They say, yes, we think Trump should be a dictator. I think the numbers of people that like the American life and like the free speech is far, far more. And that's why the propaganda machine is working overtime, flooding the zone right now.
I hope you're right. I feel better after what your counter perspective was to mine. So I appreciate that. You know, here's the thing. You also have to remember on all this media stuff, PBS completely defunded.
Totally. I forgot about that.
NPR defunded.
Yeah.
It is state-run media, just like Putin has, because Trump wants to be Putin. He wants everybody to say how great he is, and he looks great with no shirt on. And he is a tyrant.
Completely. He's a little titty baby who got his feelings hurt by comedians, and he's been chomping at the bit to go after everybody that's hurt his feelings his whole life.
Right.
And the more he talks and the more he gets on camera, the more people want to shit talk him. And that's what we get to do in the United States. We get to shit talk. We get to do it. And if you don't like shit talking, don't watch I've Had It. Don't watch Jimmy Kimmel. You have agency, you fucking dipshits. If you're in the cult and you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, don't watch Jimmy Kimmel. It's just super easy. I'm not into like Nazi shit, so I don't watch Nick Fuentes. Okay. It's a very simple thing. I have agency over that. All right. And lastly, I want to leave you with a voice that keeps rising up, and it is our good friend Hassan Piker. And he says, every corporation is instantly folding to the admin, even when it's over an utterly inoffensive joke the administration doesn't like. Liberals need to wake up. We all have to fight back. These wealthy assholes aren't going to stand up for anything beyond their bottom line. And that is what you have to realize here. The people who have become billionaires through our hard work, and we pay taxes, they are able to go kiss the ring and do show and tell trophy time with Kanks in the Oval Office and humiliate themselves in these ridiculous humiliation exercises. And they are never going to come to the rescue. The billionaire ruling class, plus all of the crazy MAGA cultists and all of the just bend over beta males surrounding Trump, they have no conviction. They operate out of fear. And do you want to know who the billionaires are scared of and who MAGA is scared of? The people, us. They're scared of us. The billionaires are afraid of losing our money. Kanks is afraid that we're going to organize against him, which is why he's talking about going after organizing liberal groups, which we're going to get to in our next episode, because today is a day to be locked into this shit. Because I'm telling you guys, fascism is here. This is a fascist country. They are doing it. This isn't cancel culture. That is a big, giant, diaper-wearing titty baby. He is, Pumps. I can't stand him. And what is so cowardice is how many people are bending over to him. And are we seriously losing our country for that guy? That will be the autopsy of the First Amendment. We lost it all for him. For you in the cult, swing for the fences. You know what? It's your rights, free country, do it. Go after it. But those of us who want to have the First Amendment, unite and stand up. This is serious shit. Subscribe to our channel. I went into the back end and looked at the analytics, and half of you watch our videos but don't subscribe. By God, subscribe. We're doing the hard work here, and we'll see you all later today with more news on how to beat down a dictator. I've been pulling all-nighters trying to research this, so you'll want to tune into our next episode.